Taurus, I need your full attention right now. Something is happening around you at this very moment that you haven't fully noticed yet. Small signs, seemingly insignificant details, coincidences that aren't really coincidences. All of this is aligning to culminate in something huge in the last week of November. And if you're not paying attention, real attention, not the superficial attention of someone just going through the motions, you're going to miss the exact moment when your life could completely change direction. I'm talking about concrete events, tangible opportunities, specific encounters that the universe is orchestrating to happen specifically to you in this last week of November. But here's the crucial detail. These opportunities won't arrive with trumpets and flashing lights. They'll arrive disguised as ordinary things, seemingly normal situations, casual conversations, and if you're not alert, if you're not truly present and attentive, you'll let them pass without even realizing it. Why, Taurus? The truth is this: you've been preparing for something big without even knowing it. Every experience you've had this year, every lesson you've learned, every skill you've developed, has been preparing you for what's about to unfold in the last week of November. The question is, when that opportunity knocks on your door, will you be awake enough to open it? Can you feel something different moving in your life, even if you can't yet name exactly what it is? Taurus, you are naturally observant of big, obvious things. You notice when there are significant changes in your environment, when someone radically changes their behavior, when a situation clearly transforms. But what's coming in the last week of November won't be so obvious. It will be subtle. It will require you to pay attention to small details, nuances, the spaces between the words people say. It will require you to develop a level of attention you may never have used before. Think about how many times in your life you only realized something important after it had already passed. How many times have you looked back and thought, wow, that was the moment and I didn't realize it? How many times have you only clearly seen an opportunity when it was already gone? This happens because most of us live on autopilot, going through the days without truly being present. But in this last week of November, you can't afford to live like that. This is a week where every conversation can contain vital information, where every encounter can be the encounter, where every seemingly small choice can have enormous consequences. The universe is sending you a clear message: stay alert. Not in the anxious sense of being on high alert all the time, but in the sense of being present, conscious, attentive, of not letting life pass you by while you're distracted by worries, repetitive thoughts, or simply on autopilot. Because what's coming is too important to be missed due to lack of attention. For those born in Taurus between April 20th and April 30th, the signs you need to watch out for in the last week of November will be related to professional or purposeful opportunities. Someone will say something specific, or a situation will present itself that, if you are attentive, you will recognize as the door you've been waiting for. For those born between May 1st and May 10th, pay special attention to conversations and human connections. A specific person will appear or say something that will be crucial to your next step. And for those born between May 11th and May 20th, carefully observe synchronicities related to money, resources, or personal values. The universe will show you a new path to abundance, but only if you are paying attention. What all Taurians have in common is that in the last week of November, they will receive information or opportunities that are direct answers to questions they have asked. Some consciously, others only deep in their hearts. The universe has heard, and now it is responding, but the answer won't come wrapped in an obvious way. You will have to be attentive enough to recognize it when it arrives, disguised as coincidence, a chance encounter, a sudden idea, an unexpected invitation. Are you prepared to recognize the answer even when it doesn't look like what you expected? Taurus, one of the things I admire most about your sign is your ability to build solid and lasting things. But this same quality sometimes makes you resist change, even when change is exactly what you need. and what's coming in the last week of November will require flexibility. I'm not saying you'll have to abandon everything you've built. I'm saying you may need to adjust direction, make room for something new, let go of something that no longer serves you to embrace something that serves you better. Your signs' natural resistance might make you want to ignore the signs because they may point to changes that initially seem uncomfortable. But I need you to understand the temporary discomfort of a necessary change is far less than the permanent discomfort of staying in something that no longer serves you. And the universe isn't trying to cruelly remove you from your comfort zone. It's trying to lead you to a much better place, but one that lies just a small step away from courage. During this last week of November, pay special attention to 3 types of signs. First, repetitions. If you hear the same idea, word or concept 3 times from different sources in a few days, pay attention. The universe is trying to give you an important message. Second, opportunities disguised as inconveniences. Something may arise that initially seems like a problem or a complication, but is actually a door opening. Don't react automatically with resistance. Pause and consider what is really being offered. Third, unexpected people. Someone may enter or re-enter your life in a surprising way. This person brings something important to you, even if it's not immediately obvious. And here's something you need to know. The most important signs usually appear when you're most distracted. It's as if the universe is waiting for you to let your guard down, so it can send a message without your rational mind interfering and creating 1,000 reasons why it doesn't make sense or isn't the right time. So, pay attention, especially to the most casual moments of the week. The random conversation in the elevator, someone's passing comment, the message that arrives out of nowhere. Taurus, there's a specific reason why you need to be particularly attentive this last week of November, and not any other week. Throughout this year, the universe has been building something for you behind the scenes, organizing connections, aligning possibilities, preparing the ground. And the last week of November is when all this invisible work will begin to become visible. But it will only become visible if you are looking. Think of it as if you made a wish to the universe at the beginning of the year, perhaps consciously, perhaps just deep in your heart. And the universe has spent the entire year preparing to deliver that wish. But the delivery won't arrive in a huge box with a bow. It will arrive in a way that requires you to be present and attentive to recognize and accept it. If you are distracted, you might literally look at your answer and not recognize it for what it is. Do one thing: start training your attention. Practice being truly present in conversations instead of already thinking about what you're going to say. Practice observing details in your environment that would normally go unnoticed. Practice noticing your own intuitive reactions to people and situations, because this last week of November, you're going to need these skills operating at their peak. It's also important that you create space in your schedule for this week. Don't overload your days with commitments that leave you rushing from one place to another without time to breathe. You need mental and emotional space to process what will be happening. You need time to reflect, to consider, to respond appropriately when opportunities arise. If you are too busy, you will miss the subtleties that are exactly where the magic will be happening. Another thing, pay attention to your dreams this last week of November. For Taurus, a sign so connected to the physical and material world, sometimes the most important signs come through dreams precisely because it's the only time you stop worrying so much about the concrete and allow the symbolic to speak. If you have particularly vivid dreams or dreams that stay in your mind even after waking up, write them down. They may contain important messages about what's to come or what you need to know. Are you willing to pay attention not only to what happens when you're awake, but also to the messages that come while you sleep? Taurus. One of the biggest traps this last week of November will be the temptation to rationalize everything. Your practical and logical mind will want to explain every coincidence, justify every hesitation, find sensible reasons not to act when your intuition is screaming at you to act. But I need you to understand, not everything that is important can be completely understood by logic. Sometimes you need to trust what you feel even when you can't fully explain why you feel it. This doesn't mean acting impulsively or irresponsibly. It means being willing to consider possibilities that don't perfectly fit your original plan. It means being open to paths you hadn't considered before. It means giving the universe and your own intuition the benefit of the doubt, even when the safest thing would seem to be staying where you are. During this last week of November, you may feel an unusual urge to do something different. Perhaps take a different route home. Perhaps accept an invitation you would normally refuse. Perhaps start a conversation with someone you wouldn't usually talk to. Don't ignore these impulses. They are not random. They are your intuition guiding you to be in the right place at the right time, to find what you need to find. One of the most powerful things you can do is simply ask the universe at the start of each day, "What do you want me to see today? What do you want me to hear? Where do you want me to go?" And then pay attention to the answers that will come through sudden thoughts, unexpected invitations, coincidences that put you in specific situations. The universe is trying to guide you, but you need to be willing to be guided. Taurus, it's also important for you to understand that being switched on this last week of November doesn't mean being tense or anxious. In fact, anxiety will hinder your ability to perceive subtle signals. Being switched on means being relaxed and alert, present and aware but not rigid, like an animal in nature that is always aware of its surroundings but isn't panicking. It's simply attentive. The energy you need to cultivate is one of curiosity and openness. Instead of going through the week with rigid expectations about how things should be, go through it with the attitude of, "Let's see what unfolds." This allows you to perceive opportunities that don't fit into the categories you've already created in your mind. It allows you to be pleasantly surprised by what the universe has prepared for you. And here's something crucial. When you recognize the signal, when you identify the opportunity, when you feel that inner click of "this is it," don't hesitate. Hesitation is what kills the most opportunities. I'm not saying to be reckless. I'm saying don't let fear or doubt paralyze you when you know deep down that it's right for you. The last week of November will have a time window quality. Some opportunities will be available specifically at that moment and not later. Do you trust yourself enough to act when you know it's time? Taurus, I'm going to tell you something that might sound strange, but is true. The universe has been subtly testing you for the past few months to see if you were ready for what's coming in the last week of November. Small opportunities, small signs, small tests of your attention and willingness to act. And the fact that you're here now, watching this video, receiving this message, indicates that you passed the preliminary tests. It indicates that you are ready. The question now is, will you honor this readiness by being truly present when the moment arrives? Clean your home or workspace. New energy needs space to enter, and that's difficult when everything is full of physical clutter. Organize pending tasks that are consuming your mental attention. It's hard to perceive subtle signs when your mind is full of worries about practical things that could be resolved. And above all, make peace with your past. If there are resentments or regrets consuming your emotional energy, work to release them. You need to be energetically clean and available for the new things that are coming. During the last week of November, also pay special attention to what brings you genuine joy. Not obligations, not duties, but real joy. Because often the universe hides the most important opportunities in the things that make us feel most alive. If something makes you feel an inexplicable excitement even when it doesn't make logical sense, it may be your spirit recognizing something your mind hasn't yet grasped. Follow that excitement. It's a better GPS than any rational analysis. And observe the doors that open easily versus those that require you to force them open. In the last week of November, what is right for you will flow with surprising ease, even if it is challenging. There will be an energetic yes quality even when work is involved, while what is not for you will encounter constant resistance, complications that arise out of nowhere, a feeling of swimming against the current. Learn to distinguish between the two and choose the paths that flow. Taurus, one of the most beautiful revelations that can come to you in this last week of November is the understanding of how much you have already grown. You will look at an opportunity or situation and realize that a year ago you wouldn't have had the courage or ability to seize it. But now you do. You have become the person who can say yes to what is being offered. And that realization in itself is powerful, recognizing your own evolution, your own expansion of capacity. It's also possible that in the last week of November, you'll have to choose between the familiar and the unknown, between what you know works in a certain way and what could work much better but you've never tried. Your Taurian nature will pull you towards the familiar, the safe, the already known, but your soul, your higher self, will push you towards the unknown that promises so much more. In this moment of choice, remember, growth always involves some level of discomfort. And the temporary discomfort of trying something new is infinitely preferable to the permanent discomfort of always wondering, what if I had tried? The last week of November can also bring clarity about something you've been confused about for months. Suddenly, the pieces will fall into place. You'll understand why certain things happened, why certain doors closed, why you were guided in certain directions that didn't make sense at the time. And with that clarity comes power, the power to act from true understanding instead of confusion and doubt. Also, pay attention to people who will speak to you in an unusually direct or sincere way this week. Sometimes the universe uses other people as messengers to tell us things we need to hear but have been avoiding. If someone gives you feedback that initially bothers you, don't react defensively. Pause and consider if there is truth there that you need to acknowledge. Often the most important messages are the hardest to hear. Taurus, when this last week of November ends and you look back, you'll want to make sure you were fully present for it. That you didn't miss important moments because you were distracted or on autopilot, that you recognized the signs when they appeared, that you had the courage to act when you knew it was time to act, and that you trusted yourself and the universe enough to say yes to the new things that were being offered. Because the truth is this, moments like this don't come around often. There isn't a special last week of November every year. This is a unique configuration of circumstances, preparation, and opportunity that rarely aligns. And when it's gone, it's gone. You can't go back and get what you've missed. You can only make sure you're present and attentive so you don't miss anything. Reflect on what you truly want. Not what you think you should want, not what others expect you to want, but what you genuinely, deeply desire for your life. Because when the signs begin to appear in the last week of November, you will recognize them more easily if you are clear about what you are seeking. The universe is trying to deliver what you asked for, but you need to know what you asked for to recognize it when it arrives. Share in the comments if you've ever felt that something special is about to happen in your life. Sometimes simply naming the feeling helps to tune into it more clearly. Subscribe to the channel now because after this last week of November, you'll need guidance on how to integrate what you've received, how to act on the opportunities you've identified, and how to maintain the state of present awareness you've developed. What happens this week is just the beginning of a new chapter, and you'll want support to navigate this chapter in the best way possible. Turn on notifications so you don't miss content that will help you maximize this last week of November and everything that comes after. Because the right preparation makes all the difference between seizing an opportunity and letting it slip away. The last week of November has arrived. All you need to do is stay alert, pay attention, be present, and when the signs appear, and they will, have the courage to recognize them and act. You are ready. You just need to be awake when the moment comes.